Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Zach with Money Pit RC. Today's one of those weekly recap videos, so let's dive in and see what we've been working on. If you follow my Instagram, you know that I'm trying to build a Baja truck or pre-runner truck, whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to build one of those. So we're going to talk about the 3D printed stuff that I did on that truck first, which I'm very excited that I did experiment with TPU. I was kind of leery on trying to experiment with it because I've heard a whole bunch of bad things about it, but it really wasn't that bad being my first time. I went on Thingiverse and Cosmetic 3D and I tried to find a paddle tire file because I want to make this thing more of like a sand runner type of deal. So I had to go on there and I found a file for a paddle tire, but it was very small. I printed it anyway. 1 second. All right, I'm back. So I found that it is very small. Don't focus on my face. So here is the actual tire. Like I said, it's very small, but it worked. I was very impressed. 0% infill. So I used 0% infill on this, try to give it a little bit more softness. I did use 95A TPU, which I guess is very kind of hard or stiff. I just kind of ordered whatever the cheapest on Amazon. But here was the first one. Like I said, it worked. It's just very small. So there was a guy on Instagram that he had a set of paddle tires, and I asked him to just kind of help me out, see if I can resize these at all. His Instagram is Patriks RC. Little focus, there you go. Patriks RC. I asked a whole bunch of questions and he answered basically all of them. Then he actually sent me a file, which I had to send him the little dimensions on the wheels that I was using. And then he shot me a file and they fit flawlessly. So here is the final product, which it has great big sidewall, and it's even indented on the inside, so the bead lock fits perfectly, doesn't slip on the wheel, and it's a fantastic tire. So he told me to use 8% infill, which I did, and these tires have the perfect amount of squish. They're just great tires all around. So thank you to Patriks RC for sending me that file so I can get these tires mounted on the wheels. So he actually just started a YouTube channel. I don't know if he'll be posting a lot, but he did just make a video on a build breakdown of his pre-runner. It is super cool, so make sure you check that video out. Give him a like, give him a follow, do what you need to do. So I'm gonna show you my pre-runner right now. Oh, wrong side. There you go, look at this side. This side's a little better. So here is mine so far. You can say that I did a whole bunch of work to it. I'm not going to go in depth right now. I'm still sorting everything out. But the cool thing that you can look at now is the rear bed setup. It's got the fans with the rad. We got a fuel cell. Did do the styrene little cage in the back, but I think it looks really freaking cool. And these paddle tires, exactly what I wanted. Perfect size. I think they're 60 millimeters overall diameter. They just look so good. And it is 2-wheel drive, so you know this is gonna be legit. But I am still sorting a whole bunch of stuff out. I have a whole bunch of issues with with my magnets falling off. I have a whole bunch of issues with like my rear suspension setup. I did 3D print trailing arms, which I had to buy the file off Thingiverse. So we did the trailing arms. We did adjustable links up top to try to get the axle angle correct. We are running the Proline Big Boy Scalar shocks, so they're the 50 millimeter oil filled shocks. They are great shocks, but I am just having issues. I don't I don't really like the way the suspension feels. It's not that soft. So we need to work on the suspension a little bit. So I am talking with a guy with IFS in the front for these SCX24s. So once we get that, it'll completely change this whole thing, and then I can actually work on the suspension setup. Other than that, we do need to get the new motor in because the Spectrum garbage is garbage. So we're gonna do a FuriTech Cedar motor with the ESC. It's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna get plenty of power. I do just like the old bed setup that I did. Fuel cell with the fans and the rad. I think this looks so good. And also this is kind of where my battery sits in here. So that's kind of why I did that. Just put the battery in there and then it kind of hides everything because I didn't want the battery to flop around at all, and it gives a good secure place to hide the battery. So that's the progress on the pre-runner build. I did just spend a lot of time trying to design the rear end and all that and get the suspension set up the way I wanted it. It was kind of a waste of time-ish. It definitely took a lot of time to get it where it is now. So we're gonna probably put this on hold for a little bit until we actually get the IFS in the front. And then I did get some sway bars on order. So once all that stuff comes, then we can sort out the suspension and all that, and then figure out if we actually want to run dual shocks or not. But I just wanted to give you a little update on the pre-runner build. It is started and it is so cool. So we painted the Datsun body last week. We finally got some graphics put on it. What do you guys think? So kind of took the old livery of like an old Datsun pace car. I think it looks pretty good. Kind of put the number on the side, Datsun, Simmons, something like that. I don't know. I literally just downloaded a whole file of like the pace card graphics, printed them out, Mod Podged them on. Very cool, very simple. I think it looks pretty good. Just something simple, what I wanted. So we do have a chassis for it, 3D printed chassis. Got the hinge mount, which like I talked about, I think in the last, I talked about it in another video, which I found the file on Thingiverse for these bodies, because these bodies have the holes. So I found those files and I actually can use them properly now, which is really cool. So that's that. I didn't really do too much. Like I said, just the graphics. And then kind of printed the chassis, the magnet mount there ready, but so chassis done and bodies painted and graphicked up, I guess you want to call that. This is from last week. Not really much has changed. Like I said, we did do the lower links. I did find a file for Gladiator upper links, which now we can get these mounted on. And then we'll just need to find front file for the front links. Front upper links. But I did print the Gladiator links in gray just because I think I'm going to use them on another build, but that's for a different day. This one is just chilling. It's not really doing much. It's kind of like my experimental build. Just see what works, see what doesn't work. Yeah, that's it. But I gotta find something to do with this eventually, but not right now. So in the mail, we did receive, you can see that we did receive another Torq Servo. This is the TCM 1022. This one has the ears, unlike the other one, which was the SCX24 specific platform. This one is basically just a micro servo, but the wire leads are out the back, which gives it an A+. This one I did toss in the TRX4M. That video should be out. It should already actually be out. So as you're watching this, that video is already out. It's a fantastic servo. Like I said, this one has the ears, so you can use it basically anywhere that you have need for a micro servo. It'll fit the Emax trays. It fits the TRX4M without any modifications. This still has the stock tray. Bolts right up to it, no issues. Plenty of speed, plenty of power. These are great servos. So if you want to get one, I'll leave a link in the description box below. Shout out to Director C for sending these servos so I can test them out and make videos on them. I really appreciate it, and they are great servos. Then for the Enduro build, we did toss on some RC all-wheel drive bead locks with the trail burner tires, just because the black labels were just way too soft for this heavy build. So we got this on, they perform really well. So that's it pretty much for this. I still have to patina this body, but I just didn't have any time this week. So hopefully next week, but no guarantees. Here is the cab only build. It looks a little different. I did do a whole bunch of stuff on it. So did some Chinese beadlock wheels with the black label tires. These are the bigger ones. I printed a keg for the rear to act like a fuel cell. Did put some straps there to give it that look, and I think it turned out really well. And then we also did some Duff graphics on the side and the hood. Duff beer. I think the livery fits this truck so good. And we did make a styrene front bumper. Other than that, not much has changed on the inside, just kind of give it some cosmetic upgrades that it needed. And I think it looks really good. I will have a full build breakdown video on this eventually. I started filming it. I just need to get driving clips and all that, but I did start it, so it will be out eventually. So hit that notification bell so you don't miss it. So I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but I did put mostly some of my STX24s or TRX4Ms on this wall, right above my workbench, so it's easy accessible. I found a file for these hooks, which I found them before, but they were just a little bit too big. So I found that file, I sized them down a little bit, and they fit basically anything. STX24s, TRX4Ms, I got the Red Cat Ascent 18 up there. I got the recent whatever up here too. I think it looks really good. I just wanted them kind of closer to me, and it kind of gives it a little bit more appeal when I am sitting here for hours trying to build something, and I can just kind of grab something off the wall or whatever I need. But yeah, I just wanted to share those that I printed. My printer was going non-stop that day printing these freaking hangers. So this is the last thing I'm gonna show you. It is just that double cab that we did have on that MB24 last time. We completely changed the game plan on that. So here is the double cab. We still have the Little Guy Racing Parts cage with their 3D printed seats on the inside. It's kind of hard to see, but we did paint the cage silver to act as more of like a roll bar. But that's pretty much it. We still don't have anything to throw this on, this body. We thought we had a good idea, but that changed fast. So this is all we got so far of this. I still have to do the Tamiya crap and paint it and figure out what to throw it on, and if I want to put a bed. Actually, I probably could. I think I'm going to print a bed and just throw it on and see how it looks. Come back next week to find out if it works. So on that note, I'm going to conclude this recap video. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. You know I enjoy reading through all your feedback. I'll catch you guys in the next video.